Okay, we have the Auburn School Building Master Plan Team for September 16th. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the meeting is being tape recorded. Is there anyone else tape recording it? There is not. Any citizen comments? There are none. Entertain a motion for approval of the August 5th minutes or any changes that anyone would like.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second it. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Okay, just an update of, I guess, where we are, and it seems like we're in pretty good shape here. The parking lot is, if anyone has been by it, is complete and usable. There's still a few punch list items that are left to do. The lights came in the end of last week, and they're in the process of getting them up. They've got them up, but they're not wired yet. And there's a couple of other small punch list items still to be done. We're working with Lynch to get those done. As far as it works, Joe, what's the thought?
Well, I think the term that we heard is seamless. It works perfect.
Does it?
Yeah. Took the first couple of days to kind of get the bugs out,
Yeah.
but after the first couple of days, the reports that we've heard from the principal and the vice principal, who's actually that does the duty out there, says that it's seamless, that the flow is perfect. Everyone is off the street, which is important. That was our main goal, is
Yep.
to get the kids off
Yep.
the street.
Yep.
Awesome.
Even in the afternoon, they're off the
Even in
street?
the afternoon.
Really?
Correct.
That's amazing, because they that first day, they were
It was a
backed
little
up to
scary.
Bryn Mawr.
Yeah, we were all sweating it out.
Yeah,
Scary, huh?
But the nice thing too is that 10 buses can queue up, which is key, which
Yep.
is a little bit better than what we expected.
Yep. And that will come into play even more when the elementary school is there,
Correct.
where they all get out at the same time. Yeah. Any other comments on the outside? That being the biggest part of the, or the biggest single piece of the project, and getting it out of the way is really a good thing. Lets us pin down, both the budget and the schedule for the rest of it, so. The next item is the architect selection, and I put the minutes, not the minutes, but the notes from our reviewing of the architect's proposal in the packet. And we had anticipated we were going to get at least a few proposals. We ended up getting one, and in discussing that, it really, we put a maximum on it of $25,000, which is sort of unusual when you go out for an architect, but we were really convinced that it wasn't going to be more than that. And the one firm that sent the proposal in was Nault Architects from Hope Ave in Worcester, and they have worked many, many, many projects for the town. And when we went through, it's an older firm, that's not a misprint. The firm actually did start in 1886. And Mr. Van Dyke, Steve Van Dyke, who's the principal now, took over in 2003, and he's been there since 86, that's correct. He is using as engineers Seaman Engineering and Art Engineering, Seaman being for the HVAC and plumbing, and Art Engineering being for the electrical. Those are both the same engineers that are doing the building out back here. So, and we've got a history with both of those, so I'm pretty comfortable with them. And they listed about 130 projects that they have done, but the kitchen experience, they had a few, but the ones that really stood out was kitchen work at Assumption, Worcester State, and UMass Dartmouth. And I think there were a couple at Assumption, actually. So he's pretty familiar with kitchens, and we've already had the initial meeting with he and the kitchen equipment people, and you can tell that he's understands the ins and outs of the kitchen renovation. So, and both engineers gave us relevant projects that they have done too. So it was the consensus of the people that met that Nault was certainly a suitable architect, and we recommended to the school committee that they enter into a contract, which they have done. The next sheet is the schedule that Nault has presented to us on what he's expecting. It's a little different than your normal schedule, but basically, September 9th, he's already met with our kitchen consultant, who is the lady from Gillette who has been meeting with Janice King. And we'll go over that in a second, but they've already met and got the sort of the layout of what we have in mind, and we've given them all the connections, all the equipment, all the connections, and all that. So the next meeting he'll be looking for will be to sit down with us, and after they've had a chance to look at the building, if they see any problems or anything like that, and then he'll have a meeting, kind of a final meeting on October 14th with all his designers, and expects to have on October 21st a draft set to us of the plan. So, and it should be very similar to what we've already done as far as the schematics to it.
So he's just doing the kitchen only then, or is he doing the whole building?
No, he's doing the kitchen and the restrooms in the dining hall and the general office area up on the first floor. But as we discussed before, that general office is going to be as an alternate, so
Okay.
gives us a little bit of flexibility if the pricing comes in. He's anticipating November 21st to have it in the Central Register and the plans available. Pre-bid meeting on December 1st, filed subs on the 10th, and the GC bids due on the 17th. We might slide that back until after the holidays, but he's pretty comfortable with it, and it's pretty cut and dried, really, I think, for the most part, so. Any questions on the architect, or? As I say, he's worked in every building that we have over the years. They actually did the addition on the junior high. So they've just got a good history with us, and really, when we were doing the high school, they were the ones that let us dig out all their old plans and all that, so pretty easy to work with. The kitchen equipment budget, Joe and Mary Ellen and Janice and Marcy from Gillette have spent quite a bit of time going over and trying to get the kitchen equipment within a workable range, and they really have. If you look at the first sheet with the yellow marks on it, it shows you all of the equipment that's being reused from the other schools, and it's a substantial amount. It's the one that is called reutilization plan. There's a substantial amount of equipment that's being reused at this point. And Marcy and Janice and Joe have already gone through, taken all of the connection requirements, put them into a schedule, and given it to the architect. So, and then the next page of the kitchen equipment is what they are now proposing that we buy as new equipment. And at this point, it is in about the $93,000 range, which was down a lot from the last time. I think we were 185 or 200,000. They do have other equipment that the intent would be, as things go along, that they would get added to this. And the first one would be the dishwashing machine. And I think it was a consensus, and Joe, maybe you can add this, but I think the consensus is the dishwasher machine that's there is the original one. And if at all possible, we'd like to replace that, right. It looks like the big driver for the renovations in the kitchen are gonna be the exhaust hood, which is over the existing stove, and will have to be relocated for the new equipment. So we're trying to get that, a handle on that, and see what the dollar cost is with that. If it's not ridiculously high, then at that point, I think we'll try to add the dishwashing machine into it. Is that pretty much?
Correct, yeah.
And then there's a few other small pieces that she would really like, knows that, you know, they can't necessarily be maybe put into the budget right at this point, but who knows, as we go along, maybe it will all work out. We would certainly do all the rough utility connections for all of the equipment that she's proposing, so.
Now, are you moving all the kids? Are you replacing all the tables for the students too?
No, virtually nothing in the dining hall will change, other than those restrooms going into the east end of it.
Those are fairly new, too. I believe we purchased those probably within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
5,
The
6
table?
Yeah,
The tables,
Yeah,
correct.
they're in good shape.
yep, absolutely. Then
They're
there
not
was,
too high.
there was some discussion, has been right along, as far as trying to open up that wall between the dining and the kitchen, just so the kitchen isn't so claustrophobic. And what we finally settled on was that the two end doors where the kids go into the serving area would remain as is, but the center area would have a 12-foot roll-up door, kind of open the whole wall up, and it seems like it works for everybody, so that seems like it's a doable thing. So at this point, we're waiting for the architect to come back to us with his initial comments and see where it goes. And I think it's safe to say from the initial meetings, we didn't really have any red flags or anything so far, so. Any questions on the,
No, you've been using a lot of the old equipment.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Actually, that old equipment isn't very old either, is it? Part of it was fairly new.
Fairly new, and it's
Yeah.
in very good shape.
yep,
Yeah, excellent condition.
Stainless steel is stainless steel.
That's right.
Built to last.
but there's gonna be some work next summer, you know, moving all this stuff around, connecting it all, and,
Oh, I can't lift anything.
yeah. There you go.
You're playing anyway, it's free.
Tell me when you're gonna appoint that committee, I'll be here that night.
There you go. There you go. Any other questions, comments about the inside, or where we're going from
Is
here?
there three-phase power over at the middle school? There is.
Yes.
There is, yeah.
That's what I know.
Yeah, Dave must have had his birthday.
That's one of the questions that we have, as far as where that main electrical feed is. It appears that it runs under where the new restrooms are going.
Okay.
So that's one of the initial things that we've asked the engineer to try to scope that out, and we'll see where that ends up. I guess the next item was the decommissioning committee, and I know we had sort of talked about it last week, I don't think we said anything definitive, but, Mary Ellen, do we?
Sure. Mr. Fahey and I, we actually sent an email out to local superintendents, but I truthfully did not do it until right as school was starting, so I've gotten limited information. I think it's just the timing and people are busy, so I anticipate we'll have something to follow up and present at the next meeting, so I've only gotten just a couple of comments back.
Anything interesting?
Well, I think in total, it's going to be helpful information, just in terms of, one had indicated like a timeline, they kind of planned it from when they needed to decommission and provided a backwards timeline, so I think that type of information will be helpful. That was one. I would say the other one was probably less than helpful. But I'll compile it all for you. I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Politician.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any new business, anything anyone wants to bring up? I mean, at this point, I think we're kind of in a, everything's a holding pattern. Yeah, I think everything that this committee needs to do has been done at least,
If I read this right,
for a
it'd be
few
like
weeks.
220 if we were able to get our wish list.
I think if it were all put together, yeah,
Okay.
yep, yep. Yep.
No, did you take
Um,
a seminar?
No, Joe, actually, actually, the 13,000, the last 13,000
Uh-huh.
does not get included, correct, Joe? Didn't-
Not?
Yeah, she wanted to take that out and it just didn't get taken
Oh,
out,
okay.
so,
So it's 207.
yeah.
A skillet?
How are you getting to that number? How are you getting to
This
that?
number.
37, 40,
I
50.
added these up.
Yeah, that doesn't add up to that.
The estimate, we took the seminar.
90,
Covered 94,
all right, so 25,
25,
37,
25 for these two.
okay,
13
so that's 50.
and 63. 220,
That's the total of this, of the ones above
That's the
it.
total.
correct.
Oh,
So you don't need that
this
signature,
is the
right,
total
right, right,
votes.
yes, yep,
Yep.
Aha,
yep.
I told you you'd catch that.
so
Yeah, see,
we back it out.
Yeah.
that's what happened.
They've spent a ton of time on this, and you can just tell in talking to them, there's
So it'll be 144.
somewhere in there, exactly. Yep, yep.
Say, it's caught up.
Yeah,
No.
that's why your buildings are 40 feet longer than they're supposed to.
There you go.
No new business? No?
We talked about the front door that's getting replaced.
Oh, go ahead.
Columbus Day weekend.
Yep, we put it out to bid. National Glass was the low bidder, and the exterior door is what's going up Columbus Day weekend.
Correct.
Is that door gonna, automatically open up for a person in a wheelchair? You got the pedal buttons on that?
No, they're not. It'll automatically open if someone's next to them. It'll open them. I believe it's not required for the main entrance.
So that's not your handicap entrance then?
It is a handicap entrance. The doors meet ADA codes. There's just no paddle button on it.
So someone has to kind of struggle to get in?
There'll be new doors. I don't know how much they'll be struggling to get in.
Okay. Just
But
think someone in a
again-
wheelchair.
Again, they do meet the ADA code.
Okay.
But they can be propped open, but then there's no push button involved.
Okay.
Looking
One
for
of
a
the- I
date
mean-
for the next meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
What about November
Building
14th?
security too, but
That's true.
I have a push
And you'll
button.
have
next meeting, let's just see here, there really isn't, of November.
13th Columbus Day, yeah.
Is it?
Uh-oh, my calendar says it is.
Yes,
I meant the 14th.
October?
Yeah.
Yes, yep. I anticipate that will be
13th's Columbus Day.
correct.
Yeah, but you're talking November, correct, or October? October? Okay,
The 14th,
yep.
Tuesday.
Oh, I even got my doctor's appointments in here, holy cow. I'm really efficient. Usually I miss them.
Well, you gotta look at it, you know?
I said, well, what's this stupid date here?
Hey, don't call you and remind
Almost.
you?
That one has known it for a while. You
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
Almost thinking the 21st would be the better date,
21st,
and we may have the review set then.
and plans available.
That's the
Yeah.
fall special town meeting,
Oh, it
That's
is?
not gonna work.
October 21st. Yeah,
It's a Tuesday?
it is.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
we have
moved
them
it
on
2 years.
Tuesdays now, yeah.
It was like 2 years ago.
Well, I think if he's placing the ad on the 14th, he has sufficient information to show. You know,
No, he's placing the ad on November 14th.
That's the month after.
What if we held it the 28th of October?
October 28th.
Yeah. Does that work?
I don't
Works
have
for
my
me, no.
calendar with me, I think it's okay.
You don't know when the SPC is?
No, I'm anticipating they'll likely set it for October 14th, if it's in keeping with what they typically do. It's usually the 2nd or 3rd. They won't be able to do the 21st because of the fall special town meeting.
Yep.
So I don't
Yep.
know.
There's really, there's really nothing for us to do until we see that.
I mean, we could wait until November 18th.
Might be a better one, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
That works.
November 18th? Does that work for everyone?
That's fine.
Fine with me at
And
this
if there's a
point.
reason that pops up, we can always, try to set something up for October. But
Yep.
we're really in a holding pattern here, so. Good. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is a vote.